Hello again, friends. Thanks for stopping by the Cards and Dice Dugout. Robert Max here. This is episode number 13, and it's the Time Travel Baseball Celluloid Series Game 6, where the Traveling All-Stars are up 3-2 over the Cleveland Indians. If you haven't played Time Travel Baseball, or if you're not familiar with it, it's a fun and simple game, especially the basic game, which is what we're playing. You roll 2d6s, add the totals up together, and you refer to either the pitcher or batter card, depending on which die is higher. Green representing the batter's card, red representing the pitcher's card. If we roll doubles, we flip over a gamble card, and if it's a pitcher image, we go to the pitcher card. If it's a batter's image, we go to the batter's card. So I'm going to give the gamble deck a shuffle and cut, and then we'll take a look at the starting lineups. Oh, one thing I need to mention, the Traveling All-Stars are up 3-2, and it's mostly thanks to a gross error on my part. I committed the error in Game 4 as well, but it did not affect the outcome. In Game 5, it most certainly did, and I'll talk about that real quick. And that's forgetting to insert the shutout card if a pitcher has a shutout going into the 7th inning. Now you can see the 1-1 result on the shutout card is a short single. And the Indians pitcher, Eddie Harris, take a look at him real quick, has a home run at 1-1. While I rolled double ones with a man on first base and Esquire Joe Calloway up to bat, I flipped over a gamble card, and because I did not have the shutout card inserted, it was a home run at 1-1 on both cards, where the gamble card I turned over was a pitcher's image. Should have been a short single. Most likely, 99.9% sure it turned out, or it changed the outcome of the game. So something for me to keep in mind, and hopefully that doesn't happen again if the situation arises. Okay, so here we are at the Traveling All-Stars home stadium, wherever that may be. And let's take a look at the starting lineups. Lou Brown's visiting Cleveland Indians. Leading off, center fielder Willie Mays Hayes. Izuro Tanaka in left field bats second. Pedro Serrano, the right fielder, bats third. Third baseman Roger Dorn bats fourth. Jack Parkman, the catcher, bats fifth. Toby Reyna, the shortstop, bats sixth. Charles Graham, the first baseman, bats seventh. Mario Crespi at second base, bats eighth. And batting ninth and on the mound is Rick Vaughn, Wild Thing. He is a workhorse pitcher, so he will not be subject to the rule of fives for pitcher fatigue. And he is a normal pitcher at bat, so we will replace his card with the pitcher at bat card. For Bingo Long's home team, the Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings. Leading off, Charlie Snow in right field. Bunny Downs, the second baseman, bats second. Fat Sam Popper at first base, bats third. Leon Carter, the catcher, bats fourth. Esquire Joe Calloway, the hero of Game 5, bats fifth. Walter Murchman bats sixth. He's the left fielder. Champ Chambers at third base, bats seventh. Louis Keystone, the shortstop, bats eighth. And on the mound, Yo-Yo Diaz. He's a tough pitcher, and he's also a normal pitcher at bat, so we will replace his card in the lineup with the other pitcher at bat card. So this is a rematch of the Game 2 starting pitchers. And looks like we're ready to get underway here. Willie Mays Hayes steps into the batter's box. Yo-Yo Diaz delivers the pitch, and we are underway. And we have a 7 coming off of the pitcher's card, and it's a take a gamble right off the bat. And there's no one on base, so it's a single. So leadoff single for Willie Mays Hayes. That brings up Izuro Tanaka. We have a 5 coming off of the pitcher's card. It's a deep fly out. And if there was a runner on third base, he would score. And that fly out goes to center field. But, of course, Willie Mays Hayes is going to hold it first. So it's a fly out to center, and the runner holds. So a man on first with 1 away. Brings up Pedro Serrano, the right fielder. We have a 7 coming off of the pitcher's card. It's take a gamble with a runner on first base. It's a double it's a double to left field. In the basic game, when you're reading the gamble cards, you only read the text that's bold. And that's a regular double. This is that rule that I don't really like in this game. But I had mentioned after game 1, I'm going to just follow the runner reaction board. I'm not going to, try to rethink anything. Anyway, on a double, runner on first base is out at home. Other runners score. Willie Mays Hayes is probably a pretty quick guy, but that's what happened. So we had a double to left field for Pedro Serrano. In play, double. What happened to Willie Mays Hayes? He's out at home. Tagged out. And, that was to left field. So that's a 7-2 done. And there's 2 away with a man on second. I don't agree with that wording, but Willie Mays Hayes runs through the hold sign at third base and gets thrown out at home by Walter Murchman. Okay, Pedro Serrano's on second with 2 outs, and that brings up Roger Dorn. And we have an 11 coming off of the batter's card. It's a short single with a question mark. If they were both right or left-handed, that would be a strikeout. But in this case, it's a short single. And on a short single, runners advance 1 base. So it's in play, single, and he's advanced by a batter. So that's 3 hits here in the top of the first for Cleveland. That brings up Jack Parkman with runners on the corners. And we have a 6 coming off of the batter's card. It's a sharp ground out to third base. So Champ Chambers is going to go the short way to Bunny Downs for the force out at second. And it's 3-5-4. And that's going to retire the Indians. So no score after a half inning of play. Charlie Snell steps into the batter's box. Rick Wild Thing Vaughn delivers the pitch, and we have a 9 off the pitcher's card, and it's an infield pop-out to the third baseman, Roger Dorn. And there's 1 away in the bottom of the first. Bunny Downs, second baseman. We have a 10 coming off of the batter's card, and it's a short single with a question mark. They're both right-handed, and that means he strikes him out. And there's 2 away. Brings up Fat Sam Popper. We have an 8 coming off of the pitcher's card, and he strikes him out. The traveling All-Stars go down quickly in the first inning. After 1 inning of play, no score. Yo-Yo Diaz back out on the mound. And that's a 10, double 5s. And it's coming off of the pitcher's card, and it's going to be a walk. So we have a leadoff walk. Toby Rainier goes down to first base, brings up Charles Graham. Have a 7 coming off of the batter's card. It's a high fly out to center field. Esquire Joe Calloway's underneath it, makes the catch. And Toby Rainier holds up at first base. 1 away for Mario Crespi. Have a 6 coming off the pitcher's card. It's a sharp ground out to the shortstop. Sharp ground out. First base occupied, double play. It's out. Ground out. And it's to the shortstop, so we'll say 6-4-3. He's He's out at second, tagged out. 6, 4, 3. And that'll do it for the Indians in the top of the second. Go to the bottom of the second with no score. Leon Carter leads off the inning. We have a 5 coming off of the pitcher's card, and he strikes him out. Brings up Esquire Joe Calloway. Have a 6 coming off of the batter's card, and that's a single with the opportunity to steal second base. So we got the plus sign there. In the most basic of the basic game, that would be an automatic steal, but I'm using the optional rule that is in the rules from Downey that states when you get that plus symbol on a 1 to 5, he's safe. On a 6, he's out. And he's safe. So Esquire's Joe Calloway is safe at second with a stolen base. Brings up Walter Murchman with a man in scoring position for the Traveling All-Stars. We have an 8 coming off the pitcher's card, and he strikes him out. It's 2 away for Champ Chambers. It's a 4 coming off of the batter's card, and he strikes him out as well. Seems that Rick Vaughn has his best stuff going for him in this game. So that's going to do it for the Traveling All-Stars after 2 innings of play, no score. Yo-Yo Diaz comes back out to the mound. Rick Vaughn is at the plate. And that's a 4 coming off of the batter's card. It's a sharp ground out to shortstop. Louis Keystone, the Fat Sam Popper for out number 1. Back to the top of the order for Willie Mays Hayes. He's 1 for 1 with a single. We have an 8 coming off the pitcher's card, and he strikes him out. 2 away for Zoro Tanaka. Double 4s. Comes off the pitcher's card, and it's a strikeout. This game is moving right along so far. After 2.5 innings, no score. Louis Keystone leads off the bottom of the third for the Traveling All-Stars. And we get an 8 coming off the pitcher's card, and he strikes him out. It's 1 away. That brings up Yo-Yo Diaz. It's an 8 coming off the pitcher's card, and another strikeout. 2 away. Back to the top of the order, Charlie Snow. We have an 11 coming off of the batter's card, and that's a short single with a question mark. They're both right-handed batters, and guess what? Or they're both right-handed. He strikes him out. And that retires the Traveling All-Stars in the bottom of the third. We go to the top of the fourth, still no score. Pedro Serrano will lead off the 4th inning for the Indians. We got a double 5s, and that's coming off of the batter's card, and that's a single. And he will try to steal second base because of the plus sign. So let's see what happens here. 1 to 5, he's safe. 6, he's out. He is safe at second. Stolen base. Brings up Roger Dorn, the third baseman. And that's a 10 coming off of the pitcher's card. It's a pressure play, and in the basic game, that's a strikeout. 1 away. For Jack Parkman, the catcher, we have a 9 coming off of the batter's card. It's a sharp ground out. And first base occupied, it's a double play. Other runners advance 1 base. First base vacant, runners hold. So it's an out, and that ball went to the pitcher, Yo-Yo Diaz. It's an out, ground out, 1-3, and the runner is held up at second. That's Pedro Serrano. Yo-Yo Diaz grabs the ground ball, takes a look at Pedro Serrano, and keeps him there at second base. Okay, that's going to bring up Toby Renya. Or Renna. I've been pronouncing that wrong the whole series. Man on second, 2 outs. Double 2s. And that is a sharp ground out. 2. Back to Yo-Yo Diaz again. He tosses over to Fat Sam Popper for out number 3. And the Indians are retired in the top of the 4th. Still no score. Rick Vaughn, who's having an excellent game so far, comes back out to the mound. And Bunny Downs is the first batter. We have a 5 coming off of the batter's card, and that's a short single with the opportunity to steal second base. So once again, 1 to 5, he's safe. On a 6, he's out. And he is thrown out by Jack Parkman at second base. Is out at second, caught stealing. 2-6. And there's 1 away. Fat Sam Popper still at the plate. We have a 5 coming off the pitcher's card. And that's another strikeout. 2 away. Brings up Leon Carter, who's been relatively quiet this series. An 11 coming off of the pitcher's card, and that's a walk. So a 2-out walk to Leon Carter brings up Esquire Joe Calloway. Have a 9 coming off of the batter's card. It's a hard ground out to shortstop. Toby Reyna, he's going to go the short way to Mario Crespi for out number 3 at second base. Leon Carter will be forced. So it's a ground out, 6-4. And that'll do it for Traveling All-Stars in the 4th inning. We go to the top of the 5th, still no score. Yo-Yo Diaz back out on the mound. We have a 4 coming off of the batter's card. That's a deep fly out to center field. 1 away. Next up, Mario Crespi, second baseman. He's 0 for 1 with the ground out. Have an 11 coming off of the pitcher's card, and that's a single. So a 1-out single with Rick Vaughn coming up to bat. And we have a 7 coming off of the pitcher's card, or the batter's card, and that's a strikeout. There's 2 away for Willie Mays Hayes with Mario Crespi on first base. Willie Mays Hayes is 1 for 2 with a single. And we have a 5 coming off of the batter's card, and that's another base hit for Willie Mays Hayes. Man on first moves to second based on the running board, and he'll hold there. In play single. And he's safe at second, advanced by the batter. Now, he does have the plus sign. However, he can't steal second base with a runner there. So it's first and second with 2 outs for Izuru Tanaka, the left fielder. And we have a 6 coming off of the batter's card. It's a chop ground out to the pitcher, Yo-Yo Diaz. He tosses over to Fat Sam Popper for out number 3. And that'll do it for the Indians in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still no score. Walter Murchman up to bat. Double 3s. He's coming off of the pitcher's card, and it's a walk. So leadoff walk in the bottom of the 5th to Walter Murchman. Brings up third baseman Champ Chambers. And we have a 10 coming off of the pitcher's card, and pressure play strikeout. 1 away. Rick Vaughn is chalking up the strikeouts in this game. I'll have to take a look at his stats so far. All right, Lewis Keystone with 1 out and a man on first base. We have a 7 coming off of the batter's card. That's a line fly out, they call it. And, of course, the runners are going to hold. And that went to left fielder Izuru Tanaka. And that's a line drive to left field. There's 2 away. He's held at first base. Brings up the pitcher, Yo-Yo Diaz. He's a left-handed batter, if I didn't mention that before. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. It's a 9 coming off of the pitcher's card. It's an infield pop-up to third baseman Roger Dorn. And the Traveling All-Stars are retired. After 5 innings of play, still no score. Who's going to break first? Yo-Yo Diaz back out on the mound. Pedro Serrano up to bat. And we have a 10 coming off of the batter's card. Short single with a question mark. They are not the same handed this, so it is a short single. In play single. It's the 7th hit for the Cleveland Indians. That brings up Roger Dorn. We have an 8 coming off of the batter's card. It's a slow ground out. Runners advance 1 base if forced. And that ground out went to second base, Bunny Downs. It's an out, ground out, 4-3. Runner is safe at second, advanced by batter. So we have a runner at second, man in scoring position with 1 out for Jack Parkman. And that's a 6 coming off of the pitcher's card. That's a sharp ground out. Sharp ground out says first base occupied, double play, runner on first is out, other runners advance 1 base, but if first base is vacant, the runners hold. So that ground ball went to second baseman Bunny Downs. It's an out, ground out, 4-3, and the runner's safe at second, held up. So Pedro Serrano is still at second base in scoring position with 2 outs, and Toby Reyna up to bat. And we have an 11 coming off the pitcher's card, and that's a single. And on a regular single, man on first moved to second, other runners score, and the Indians are on the board. The 2-out single by Toby Reyna. It's a single. He's safe at home, advanced by the batter, and the Indians are up 1-0. That brings up Charles Graham with a man on first and 2 outs. That's an 8 coming off of the batter's card. It's a sharp ground out to second. Bunny Downs goes over to first baseman Fat Sam Popper for out number 3. And the Indians are retired in the top of the 6th, but not before scoring a run. So we go to the bottom of the 6th with the Indians leading 1-0. Here's Charlie Snow to face Rick Vaughn in the bottom of the 6th. We have a 6 coming off the pitcher's card. It's a high fly out to right field, and there's 1 away. That brings up Bunny Downs, second baseman. There's a 6 coming off the pitcher's card. It's another high fly out, this time to right field. Oh, the last one was to right field as well. Okay, fly out to right field, and there's 2 away. Brings up Fat Sam Popper, first baseman. Got a 6 coming off of the batter's card, and that's a sharp ground out to the shortstop Toby Reyna over to Charles Graham for out number 3. 6-3. And the traveling All-Stars are retired. After 6 innings of play, it's Cleveland 1, traveling All-Stars 0. Yo-Yo Diaz is still back out on the mound, but I think Bingo Long's hook is going to be a short one here if he gets in any trouble. We have a 8 coming off of the batter's card. It's a chop ground out to shortstop Louis Keystone over to Fat Sam Popper for out number 1. Brings up the pitcher, Rick Vaughn. He's 0 for 2. And we have a 6 coming off the pitcher's card. It's a sharp ground out to shortstop Louis Keystone over to Fat Sam Popper for out number 2. 2 away brings up the leadoff hitter, Willie Mays Hayes. He's 2 for 3 with a couple singles. We have a 5 coming off of the batter's card, and that's another base hit for Willie Mays Hayes. And he's going to have the opportunity to steal here because of the plus sign on his card. So on a 1-5, he's safe. On a 6, he's thrown out. And that's a 3, so he is safe at second base. So Willie Mays Hayes is at second base with 2 outs for Izuro Tanaka. We have double 3s. It's coming off the pitcher's card. It's a walk. If it had been off of the batter's card, it would have been a double and scored Willie Mays Hayes. But it is a walk. And now it's first and second with 2 outs for Pedro Serrano. Have a 9 coming off of the pitcher's card. It's an infield pop out to the third baseman, Champ Chambers, for out number 3. So Yo-Yo Diaz gets out of the jam. And we go to the bottom of the 7th with the score. Cleveland 1, traveling all-stars nothing. Leon Carter leads off. We have a 7 coming off of the batter's card. It's a high fly out to center field. Willie Mays Hayes is underneath it. Makes the catch for out number 1. Brings up Esquire Joe Calloway. We have a 3 coming off of the batter's card, and that's a walk. 1 away for Walter Murchman with Esquire Joe Calloway on first base. We have an 8 coming off of the batter's card. It's a chop ground out to second baseman Mario Crespi. Batter to first on fielder's choice. So they're going to throw out. This is another one that gets me a little bit here. Batter to first base on fielder's choice. Draw top gamble card. Pitcher's image, lead runner out. Batter's image, trailing runner out. I think that might apply to I don't know, a third runner. It's a little confusing. Batter to first on fielder's choice. So he's safe at first. And I guess because there's only one runner, Esquire Joe Calloway is going to be out at second. So out. No, safe. Fielder's choice. That should be on. Here we are. Fielder's choice. And it's going to be 2-6 or 4-6. Done. And what happened to Esquire Joe Calloway? He is out. Tagged out at second base. Okay. So Walter Murchman's on first with 2 outs and Champ Chambers up to bat. We have a 9 coming off of the batter's card. It's a hard ground out to the shortstop, Toby Rainier. He goes the short way to Mario Crespi at second base for out number 3. So after 7 innings of play, Cleveland Indians 1, traveling all-stars nothing. Yo-Yo Diaz is still out there. Here's Roger Dorn. We have a 7 coming off of the batter's card. It's a high fly out to the left fielder, Walter Murchman. 1 away. Brings up catcher Jack Parkman. He's 0 for 3. We've got a 3 coming off of the pitcher's card, and that's a walk. And once again, I forgot to insert the shutout card for Rick Vaughn. Oh boy, we'll take care of that in the 8th though. All right, so we have a man on first with 1 out. Have a 10 coming off the pitcher's card. It's a pressure play, which is a strikeout in the basic game. It's 2 away for Charles Graham. We have a 5 coming off of the batter's card, and that's another walk. So it's first and second with 2 away for Mario Crespi. He's 1 for 3 with a single. It's a 7 coming off of the pitcher's cards. Take a gamble. Our lead runner's at second. It's a slow ground out to the pitcher. So Yo-Yo Diaz will go to Fat Sam Popper for out number 3. And that does it for the Indians in the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Cleveland 1, traveling all-stars nothing. Rick Vaughn gets the shutout card, which he should have had last inning. Luckily, it did not affect any outcomes, I don't think. All right, Louis Keystone, the first batter. It's an 8 coming off the pitcher's card. It's a hard ground out to first baseman Charles Graham, and he'll take that one unassisted. And there's 1 away. That brings up pitcher Yo-Yo Diaz, and of course, that's going to be it for him. He did not really pitch an awful game. Gave up 9 hits, but only the 1 run. You know, Cleveland has left 10 runners on base. This game could be a lot worse than what it is. So, pinch hitting for Yo-Yo Diaz is going to be Sam Bankhead. And we will get a few relievers warming up for the traveling all-stars. Zip Campbell and Preacher Henry are going to both warm up for the traveling all-stars. All right, so Sam Bankhead is going to bat in number 9 position. Save. And hit him again. Defense. And it's going to be Sam Bankhead for right now, even though he's not really going to pitch. So we'll pull the pitcher at bat card for right now. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 8th for pinch hitter Sam Bankhead. We have a 7 coming off of the batter's card. So line fly out to left field. Zoro Tanaka makes the catch, and there are 2 away. Brings up Charlie Snow. It's an 8 off of the batter's card. It's a chop ground out to third baseman Roger Dorn. Tosses over to Charles Graham for out number 3. And that will do it for the traveling all-stars in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th with the Indians leading 1-0. We have to replace the pitcher. It's not Sam Bankhead. It's going to be Zip Campbell. It's coming in the pitch. Yo-Yo Diaz, 1 run on 9 hits. And let's make this change here. That'll be Zip Campbell. Save. And on offense, 9 will be Zip Campbell. Save. All right. Here we are, top of the 9th. Wild Thing Rick Vaughn up the bat. You have a 6 coming off of the batter's card. It's a sharp ground out to third baseman Champ Chambers. And that's 1 away. Brings up leadoff hitter Willie Mace Hayes. He's 3 for 4 with 3 singles. We have an 8 coming off of the pitcher's card, and that's a strikeout. 2 away. Brings up Izuro Tanaka, the left fielder. Have an 8 coming off the pitcher's card, and he strikes him out as well. So that'll do it for the Indians in the top of the 9th. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for traveling all-stars, trailing 1-0. Manager Lou Brown is going to leave Rick Vaughn out there because he's pitching a 1-hit shutout right now. Okay, and that brings up Bunny Downs. First batter for the traveling all-stars here in the bottom of the 9th. Excuse me, I said a 1-hit shutout. It's a 2-hit shutout. Either way. Okay, so Bunny Downs leads off with the short single and the opportunity to steal second base. So on a 1-2-5, he is safe. On a 6, he's thrown out. He has a 4, so he has stolen second base. He is safe at second, stolen base. Okay, so now Lou Brown is going to get his ace reliever up. That's Sammy Rhodes. He's going to start throwing. And Rick Vaughn's got to face this batter at least. Okay, here we go. Man on second. Nobody out. Fat Sam Popper. We have a 10 coming off of the batter's card. It's a short single. And if they are not both the same-handed, they are not. It's a short single with a man on second. Runners advance 1 base. Oh boy. Single. He is safe at third, advanced by the batter. So we got runners at the corners for catcher Leon Carter, and that's going to do it for Rick Vaughn. Pitched a great game, but they need their ace reliever in here for this. So Sammy Rhodes is going to come out. He's going to replace Rick Vaughn. Sammy Rhodes. Safe. Offense. Ninth. Be Sammy Rhodes. Tough one for Rick Vaughn. Great performance until the top of the bottom of the ninth here. All right. So we got runners on the corners with no outs for Leon Carter, who has been quiet this entire series. And we have a 6 coming off of the pitcher's card. It's a high fly out to right field. Runners hold. Careless defense. Runner scores from third base. Now, in the basic game, the visiting team is the careless defense. So, it's a high fly out to right field. The runner on third base is safe at home. Advanced by the batter. And Fat Sam Popper has to hold at first base. So this game is tied. The man on first and 1 away. Esquire Joe Calloway. 5 coming off of the batter's card. It's a chop ground out to the pitcher, Sammy Rhodes. Batter to first on fielder's choice. So Fat Sam Popper's going to be out at second. So it's an in play. No. Out. No. Safe. Fielder's choice. And that went to the pitcher. He goes to shortstop. Done. He's out at second. Tagged out. And that would be a 1-6 done. So it's 2 away with Esquire Joe Calloway on first and Jack Parkman up to bat. We have double fours. It's going to be a strikeout either way, and he strikes him out for the third out. But we are going to extra innings. Top of the 10th, score tied 1-1. Zip Campbell's going to come back out. Pedro Serrano is the batter. We have a 9 coming off the pitcher's card, and it's an infield pop out to the shortstop, Louis Keystone. And there's 1 away. Brings up Roger Dorn, the third baseman. We have a 3 coming off of the batter's card, and that's a walk. So Roger Dorn's on first with 1 out for Jack Parkman, the catcher. We have a 3 coming off of the pitcher's card, or the batter's card rather, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3-2 count. We pick the top gamble card. If it's a pitcher's image, it's a strikeout. If it's a batter's image, it's a walk. It is a batter's image, and it's back-to-back walks. So there's going to be some action in the Traveling All-Stars bullpen. It's first and second. It's going to be Preacher Henry getting up the throw. So it's first and second with 1 out for Toby Reyna, the shortstop. He's 1 for 3. And that's a 5 coming off of the batter's card. It's a slow ground out. Runners advance 1 base if forced. All right, so it's an out to the shortstop, Louis Keystone. It's out. Ground out 6-3. And the runner was on second is safe at third, advanced by the batter. And the runner that was on first is safe at second, advanced by the batter. So Toby Rainey does his job and moves the runners over. 2 outs for Charles Graham. We have an 8 coming off of the batter's card. Or the batter's card, and it is a sharp ground out to shortstop Louis Keystone over to Fat Sam Popper for out number 3. So we go to the bottom of the 10th. Score tied 1-1. Sammy Rhodes is going to face at least the first batter here. It's Champ Chambers. We have a 7 coming off of the batter's card. It's a high fly out to left field. Izuro Tanaka's under it, makes the catch. 1 away. Lewis Keystone, shortstop. Have a 6 coming off the pitcher's card. It's another high fly out. This time to Pedro Serrano in right. And there are 2 away. Brings up leadoff man Charlie Snow. We have a 7 coming off the pitcher's card. It's take a gamble. There's no one on base. It's a single. Left field, batter out in collision at second base. If batter is extra effort. Check injury for second base. Well, the batter's not extra effort, so he's going to hold up at first base. All right, so that's a single for Charlie Snow, a 2-out single. And that brings up... Whoa, how did that happen? Well, got to change him. Okay. Zip Campbell needed to bat. Oh, gosh, I made another mistake. Forgot to reinsert the pitcher's card. Oh. All right, so for Charlie Snow, it was what, 7? It was still take a gamble. So, all's well that ends well. He's safe at first. Hold on. All right, so that brings up Charlie Snow with the runner on first. Got double. Well, this game could be over right here because we got double ones. If I flip over the gamble card and it is a batter's image, it's a home run and the game is over. If not, it's a double, and Zip Campbell's going to be thrown out at home. And it's coming from the pitcher's card, luckily for Sammy Rhodes. And based on the runner reaction board for the basic game on a double, the runner at first base is out at home. So Charlie Snow doubles. And Zip Campbell runs through the sign and is tagged out at home. 7-2. Whew. What an exciting finish to the end of the 10th inning. All right, Zip Campbell is going to come out for at least a batter or 2. It's Mario Crespi leading off. It's a 5, and that's a line out to right field. And there's 1 away. That brings up Sammy Rhodes, but we're going to pinch hit for him. Or Lou Brown is going to pinch hit for him. And that's going to be Jake Taylor, a.k.a. Tom Berenger. All right. So that's Jake Taylor. Save. And defense, pitcher. We're going to put Jake Taylor in that spot so I don't forget to replace him. Save. Okay. Oh, 1 out. Jake Taylor up to bat. We have a 7 coming off the pitcher's card. It's take a gamble. There's nobody on base, and it's a single tapped in front of home. So Jake Taylor does his job. In play, single. And we get back to the top of the order. Willie Mays Hayes. Top of the 11th. 1 out, man on first. We have double 3s. It's coming off of the batter's card, and it's a single. And on the regular single, man on first moves to second. Other runners score. So it's in play for another single. That's like he's 4 for 5. That brings up Izuru Tanaka, who, on the other hand, is 0 for 4 with a walk. Okay, we have a 7 coming off of the batter's card, or pitcher's card. That's take a gamble. Our lead runner is on second base. Strikeout as batter waves at a bad pitch. And that'll be out number 2. First and second, 2 outs for Pedro Serrano here in the top of the 11th. We have a 6 coming off of the batter's card. It's a sharp ground out to second baseman Buddy Downs over to Fat Sam Popper for out number 3. And that'll do it for the Indians. Coming in to pitch for the Indians in the bottom of the 11th will be reliever Chris Schindler. All right. It's going to bring up Bunny Downs here in the bottom of the 11th. We have a 7 coming off the pitcher's card. It's take a gamble. There's no one on base. Bounce out the 3rd. Roger Dorn to Charles Graham for out number 1. Here's Fat Sam Popper. Have a 7 coming off of the batter's card. It's a high fly out to right fielder Pedro Serrano. And there's 2 away. Here's Leon Carter. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. Have a 4 coming off of the batter's card, and he strikes him out. So that's it for Cleveland. In the 11th, we go to the top of the 12th, and there is a tie game at 1. Roger Dorn's the first batter. We have a 4 coming off of the pitcher's card. There's a sharp ground out. The second baseman, Bunny Downs, there's 1 away. Brings up catcher Jack Parkman. He's 0 for 3 with a couple walks. We have a 9 coming off the pitcher's card. It's an infield pop out to first baseman Fat Sam Popper. And that's out number 2. Next up, Toby Reyna, the shortstop. Have a 7. That was a 7. Coming off the pitcher's card, it's take a gamble. Bounced out to the shortstop for out number 3. Louis Keystone over to Fat Sam Popper. 6-3, and that does it quickly for the Indians in the top of the 12th. We go to the bottom of the 12th. Tied at 1 with Esquire Joe Calloway coming up to bat. We have double 4s, and he strikes him out. It's 1 away. Here's Walter Murchman. They have an 8 coming off the batter's card. It's a chop ground out to the shortstop Toby Reyna to Charles Graham for out number 2. That brings up Champ Chambers. He's 0 for 4. We have an 11 coming off of the pitcher's card, and that's a single. 2-out single for Champ Chambers. Here's Louis Keystone. Have a 5 coming off of the pitcher's card, and that's a walk. And that's going to bring up the pitcher's spot. Zip Campbell, of course, he's not going to bat. And Troy Pearson is going to start warming up for the Indians. Zip Campbell is going to be replaced by pinch hitter Willie Lee Shivey. Willie Lee Shivey. Where are you, Willie? There you are. All right. So first and second with 2 outs, Willie Lee Shivey up to bat. We have a 9 coming off of the pitcher's card. It's an infield pop out to shortstop Toby Reyna for out number 3. And that'll do it for the Indians. Now coming out to pitch, or excuse me, for the traveling All-Stars. Coming out to pitch is going to be Preacher Henry. With Charles Graham up to bat. Have to excuse me a second here. All right, here we go. All right, top of the 13th. Tied 1-1. Here's Charles Graham. An 8 off of the batter's card. It's a sharp ground out to second baseman Bunny Downs. And there's one away. It's Mario Crespi. Double threes. Coming off the pitcher's card, it's a wild pitch. And on a wild pitch, runners advance one base, base is empty, take a gamble. So we take a gamble with the bases empty. First baseman drops throw from shortstop, batter is safe at first on an error. So it's in play, and it's an error. First baseman caused the error. What happened to the batter? He is safe at first on the throw. All right. So Mario Crespi at first with one out. Brings up another pinch hitter. And that's going to be, let's see. It's going to be left-hander Matt Kuntz. Okay. That's what his name is. All right, here we go. Oh, boy. All right. Man on first with one out for Matt K. We have a 9. It's an infield pop out to the shortstop, Lewis Keystone, for out number 2. And the runner holds it first. All right. Brings up leadoff batter Willie Mays Hayes, who's 4 for 6 with 4 singles. Have a 10 coming off the pitcher's card. It's a pressure play, which of course is a strikeout in the basic game. So that's going to do it for the Indians in the top of the 13th. Chris Schindler's coming back out to pitch. Here's the top of the order, Charlie Snow. It's a 7 coming off the pitcher's card. It's take a gamble. Deep drive hugs the foul line. Umpire rules foul ball. So there's one strike on Charlie Snow. Here's a 7 coming off of the batter's card. It is a line out to right field. And it's out. Line drive to right field. And there's one away. All right. Excuse me. Second baseman, Bunny Downs. Got a 7 coming off of the batter's card. It's a high fly out to left field. For number 2. Out number 2. Brings up Fat Sam Popper. Here in the bottom of the 13th, we have an 11 coming off of the batter's card. It's a single. And he's going to try to steal second base because of the plus sign. On a 1-5, he's safe. He is safe at second. Safe at second, stolen base. So a man in scoring position for Leon Carter. We have a 4 coming off of the batter's card, and he strikes out. Leon Carter has been quite the disappointment in this series. It's a 362 batter based on his card. All right, Preacher Henry back out on the mound as we go to the top of the 14th, and here's Azuro Tanaka. And we got a 5 coming off of the batter's card, and that's a strikeout. There's one away. Here's Pedro Serrano. Have an 8 coming off the pitcher's card, and it's a chop ground out to shortstop Lewis Keystone over to Fat Sam Popper for out number 2. 6-3. Here's Roger Dorn. Got a 5 coming off the pitcher's card, and that's a walk. 2-out walk. For catcher Jack Parkman, 2 away. Roger Dorn at first base. Have a 9 coming off of the pitcher's card. It's an infield pop out to shortstop Lewis Keystone for out number 3. And that'll do it for the Indians in the top of the 14th. It's going to be it for Chris Schindler. Going to bring in reliever. Let's see. Esquire Joe Calloway's a lefty. Going to bring in Troy Pearson. All right, so that's it for Schindler. All right. Esquire Joel Calloway here in the bottom of the 14th. Have an 8 coming off the pitcher's card. It's a hard ground out to second baseman Mario Crespi, and that's out number 1. Walter Murchman, the left fielder, 0 for 4. Got double 3s, and that's a single. So we got a man on first with 1 out for Champ Chambers. Got an 11 on the pitcher's card, and that's a double. That's going to have the runner thrown out at home again. I just do not agree with that rule, but that is the rule. So, in play, double, home, out, tagged out. That ball went to center field, 8-2, and that's that. So there's 2 away with Champ Chambers on second and Lewis Keystone coming up the bat. I got to tell you, that's an awful rule. What is that, the 3rd time this game? Okay, double 3s. Uh-oh. It's coming off of the pitcher's card, and that's a single. That's a single. Man on first moves to second. Other runners score. Lewis Keystone hits a single. 2. Right center field. Pedro Serrano can't get to it. Champ Chambers comes around to score, and this game is over, and so is the series in the bottom of the 14th. And that is going to do it for the time travel baseball celluloid series between the Traveling All-Stars and the Cleveland Indians from the movie Major League. And we got a final score here in 14 innings, 2-1. Oh, what a marathon. So the Traveling All-Stars win the series 4-2. Yes, there were mistakes made, but they were made for both teams. And you know what? Live and learn. I'm trying to learn this game. I sometimes think I get a little nervous when I'm doing this. I don't know. But I just hope to continue to get better. So I really like this game a lot. It has a real, retro feel for me. I will be coming back to it. But I'm going to put this game aside for a while because I really want to get started on the Stratomatic Baseball Old Timers Kings King of the Hill tournament. So I'll be back again soon with another video. And until then, take care. Thanks for sticking around if you did. See you later.